right, blogger meetup. This really should have gone in day 5, but I already uploaded day 5, so I guess this is part of day 6. Just had an aha moment there with the blogger meetup. A few local bloggers, we meet up and talk about our strategies, and I've been really struggling with my website, philipmott.com. What's the focus? What's the purpose of being there? And I just thought I can just use it as a way to highlight self-directed education in Indiana, and use it as a place for people to network there, or not network, but just to get updates about that, because it doesn't seem like there's much going on there in terms of anywhere that I've seen this self-directed education. So I could highlight what cool people are doing around our state. So that's a new thought. Hopefully I'll start working on that. That'll give me a little bit more of a reason to blog, and I'll have more of a focus for the website. So we'll see. There are a couple phases to the approach to starting a school. We're really 4 years out from the launch date, about 4 years and 3 months out. I think right now, following a really simple social media marketing funnel, we want to build some awareness kind of up in that top tier. So we just want to make people aware through some strategic ads, through friends and people that we meet along the way, that self-directed education is happening and that it's coming to this community. So we that's the top level, and then we move on to some engagement as people become more aware. I very much expect to see a lot of argument about this, that especially as people learn that there are no required classes. In fact, the requirement for graduation, at least at this point in my mind, is simply basically a dissertation by the student to say they're going to have to present evidence that they're ready to support themselves, and they're ready to sort of oversee their life outside of school, outside of that environment. So of course we still have to form a board of directors, and we still have a lot of relationships to form before then, so I don't want to jump to conclusions and say that that's definitely the way that it's going to be, but that's really appealing to me. So we have awareness up at the top, building down into some engagement, where we engage with people about the ideas and try to be more persuasive, but also really listening too, because this school is for the community. It's not for us. The school doesn't serve our needs. The school is for the community, and it's there so that, because I believe that there are students out there who are not fitting into the normal model of school, and it's not because they cannot live a normal life. It's because school is so standardized that it does not value the learning that happens outside of the school as just as valid as the learning that might happen inside of the school. So a democratic school gives those students voice and help them understand what kinds of things are valued in real life. And then finally, the last part of that funnel is a conversion. And I think at this point, that's really just someone sort of making that extra effort to either subscribe to the YouTube channel, or to friend me on Facebook, or to get in contact with us and show interest in learning more, signing up for an email list. So that's kind of where we're at right now, and thanks for watching. This is the website here. This is not going to end up being the actual school website as we get to it. I've actually kind of revamped this website a few different times. It really focuses mostly on student engagement, and I'm trying to Right now it's focused more on content, so we have different things like some different articles, policies that I think are important. But one thing that I posted about earlier about focusing down to more of a product, I think one thing that I can really use this website for is to be capturing things that are happening in self-directed learning in Indiana. So I think that will be a good spot to sort of host some of that, highlight some of the educators in the community that are doing really cool things that intersect with self-directed education, but maybe are not fully self-directed education. So it's really just a blog, but it's not an active blog. I'm not blogging like a journey. I've really switched to using the vlog for that. But I think this could be a great place to start to build some awareness around self-directed education in the community. Spent some time looking at the website this morning, philipmott.com, and really like the design of the site. I love the flow, I love the content on there, but it's really stagnant. I need to put some more pieces on there that allow me to interact with the audience, and then I need to push that content back out on the web to make sure that it's accessible and that people who are interacting with me know where to go to find different content like that. So I'm not sure if I'll be reaching out to a developer to try to oversee some of that, or if I'll be doing some more of that stuff myself. We are in a little bit of a time crunch, I feel like, where we could be moving toward having our third child. So it could be that I kind of create a plan for that and then tackle that a little bit later. So that's what I'm thinking about right now. Working on the book a little bit more today, and getting some imagery in here. I'll try to show you this instead of doing screen capture here. It's not going to come across very well. So there we have so this section is called the building, and all of the statements are trying to focus on the actual location of school. And the look I'm trying to go for is a little bit of almost like an Instagram look, where I want it to have just a nice looking photo with a description. And I may even take some time, I may create an Instagram account that kind of goes with this. So if you're reading the book, you can actually click on the picture and it'll take you to Instagram, and you can sort of add to the conversation about that. That could be a really fun way to do it. I don't really have a strategy for how to do that yet, but of course I don't read a lot of ebooks, but that seems like it could be a really cool way to make it just interactive. So I was feeling a little bit stuck this morning on the book, feeling a little bit better now. And again, this book is, there's really two books, I think, here. One book is a longer piece that I'll be looking at writing closer to the end of this year. And this one is really just about some of those things that really bug me about education, that we seem to just kind of pretend that they don't exist as parents. And it's an attempt to just kind of have a product. So that is, that is what I'm looking at. I was watching a Gary Vaynerchuk piece of content earlier, a keynote address, and he was talking about building a team. And so I started thinking about, am I ready to start looking for someone to build some of these things that I really don't know how to build and don't have the time to build. So that's all kind of on the agenda as well. Yeah. And we want to build an entire school. prevent future burnout because the job is more fun, it's easier, and it doesn't require all this planning and like
all the
discipline.
All the time to be taught by retired professionals or current professionals that come in and teach specific stuff, almost like a university.
Yeah, it could be like that.
Like, what if home ec is not taught by the same teacher for 3 years? What if it's taught by a sous chef?
Yeah, man, that would be awesome.
What do you mean it would be awesome? It's awesome. Just do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
I don't know what the whole premise, I don't know what you're trying to do with the school, but I mean, it's like, listen, a few things make your educational experience great. You're passionate about it, right? I mean, that's the most important thing. You have interest in what it is that you're learning.
Yeah.
The others that are teaching it are passionate about it.
Yeah.
You're affirmed. You feel loved, you feel appreciated, you feel acknowledged. That's it, that's life.
Yeah.
All that other shit doesn't really matter.
And look at it. And so, I mean, that's a huge need. Just based on some service numbers, like 70% of students don't feel like they're affirmed in school. Or they don't feel like they're learning something that's valuable.
I have too much bursting energy. If I could have focused my energy on academic related items, that would have been great. But whenever I focus my energy on something I was passionate about, I was great.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely.
I think all of us are.
Sure.
So, I mean, it's just trying to develop what are some ideas that I can turn into sort of actionable, almost like products or company. I am creating.
You don't have a framework, so you got to begin with the end in mind. Before you can even get into whether it's $9 or $5 and do your marketing to a newsletter, you got to begin with the end in mind and whiteboard out what's your long-term vision.
Yeah.
All right, you want to own a school. What does that mean? What kind of school?
Yeah.
What's the school do? Why would I go to your school versus another school?
I think I've got that in my head. I mean,
get it out, flush it out, and then you're going to say, my school is comprised of these 5 pillars, or 4 pillars. Here's the foundation. It's blank, blank, blank. Here are the main pillars. And then you need to figure out how to feed your content and your messaging and your branding and your, all these other things you're doing and who you're networking with. How does it really build up and support all those pillars in that foundation?
Yeah.
Who are you networking with, you know? What if you're going to have a big university focus uniquely on your school versus others? Well, what university presidents are you hanging out with right now? Or professors that are subject matter experts or whatever areas it is they need to be. Like university high school in Carmel?
Right.
That started from nowhere, right? And they got all these different languages that are being taught. Well, you have to have people that speak those languages.
Yeah.
So if you're going to have that as a niche or something you're going to do, then who you networking with is from Italy. That's teaching. Who you networking with is from Brazil.
Okay.
I don't know, man. You got to begin with the end in mind. Then you can build the content. Like, whether this is $2 or $5, what you're doing with it doesn't really serve much of a purpose.
No, that wasn't. I mean,
and in a vacuum. If it's a purpose, you're getting your name out there. Awesome.
Yeah, and so that's one of the reasons that I was starting with. Okay, so we're building a school. That's over here. You know, it sounds like that's a good process to go through. Like, what are the steps working backward?
If that's what you're really trying to build.
Not just establishing a school, but what products along the way would help us raise money, raise awareness,
Right.
You know, things like that.
Credibility, retention, attraction, you know,
All
chances.
stuff.
Yeah.
And part of the way that you develop credibility is through your network, right?
And content. Well, depends. In terms of posting content, yeah, but in the education space, what have you done?
Yeah.
I'm a teacher.
I left education.
Well, no, you're a teacher.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I've done.
Yeah.
This is what I did in the classroom that worked really, really well.
Yeah.
Here's where I felt like I wasn't that effective, or in general.
Just had a conversation, and actually it should be in the clip right before this, about some things that Kelly was talking to me about Kelly and Patrick talking to me about building some credibility through what I've done and what content. It's in relationships, it's all that kind of stuff. And I just wanted to talk about, what have I done? And I've really toyed around with this headline on LinkedIn, saying I was the apathetic teen who turned college ace. And I kind of want to come up with a better way to say that, but I guess if you know some of my story, it fits. I mean, I was the kid who I fell through so many cracks. All the interventions and all the things that are supposed to help put kids on a good path, they missed me because I was good enough that I wasn't flagged for those interventions, but I was bad enough that I missed out on so many good opportunities. Like, I didn't even know how to write a report until college, how to use an outline until college. I mean, that's valuable information. What I think happened is because I did not have a relationship with my teachers that was beneficial, I ignored all that stuff that we were doing. I don't mean to say that nothing that students learn in education is valuable. I mean to say that there's a reason that students write it off. There's a reason that students ignore teachers. And I think it comes down to trust. So I was that kid who I didn't want to do well in school. So so much of that comes back to that. So what have I done? It's like, I didn't read. I love the idea of reading. I even bought books, but I didn't sit down and read them until I went back to college. And the reason I went back to college is I picked up a Bible for the first time, since I was a kid, and I read it. And for the first time in my life, I felt like, or maybe at least since I was about 12, I really owned my faith, and I believed something. I believed in something that was bigger than me. And I saw my sin. I saw what God created me to do, and I wasn't doing that. I wasn't living that. And I went back to college and I rocked it. I mean, I did so well, and you would think that I would not do well at all. It was difficult. It wasn't easy, but I really had to engage. I talked with instructors. I got advice from them. I mean, I became the model student. Several of my instructors would say to me in one-on-one sessions, like you're the ideal student because you come with questions, you come prepared, you come ready. And it's like, I had never been called the ideal student. And so then I thought, teaching was going to be this great thing, but then I turned into the teacher that I didn't like. I didn't like any of the teachers that were like me. And I think it's because I see good teaching as being more about being a mentor and being someone who listens and recognizes opportunities to teach, instead of someone that just pushes you through this, what sometimes I call it a meat grinder, and I borrow that from Pink Floyd's Another Brick in the Wall. Like, they saw education as this meat grinder, and in a lot of ways I see it that way too, because it's taking all the students who for high achievement, and it grinds them up into just the lowest common denominator. So yeah, I think that's all I got for now.